All right, today I'm taking a bit of a risk making this video because I'm going to be using a camera that has no film simulations, no recipes. It actually doesn't even have the ability to change anything about the color profile of the images. And I think most people don't even associate or would never associate this particular camera with not editing. And that is the Hasselblad X2D II. So based on the weather, as you can tell, today's either going to go really great or really poorly. And right now, the conditions aren't looking too great here in Singapore. Also, I'm going to be restricting myself to only take 36 images with this camera. It's a great way to challenge myself as a photographer, but it's also a really good exercise to make sure that you're more deliberate with the shots that you're taking. I'm not just sitting here taking 50 images of the same shot and then showing you one of those to show you how good the camera is without editing. It really makes it more challenging for me. I got to be more intentional with my images, but also hopefully more restrictive and entertaining as a concept for you guys as viewers. Also, my film friends say that a roll of 36 images costs about the same as this Hasselblad, so I thought that would be a fun comparison. That's a joke. Anyways, let's go see what this camera is capable of without editing images, and hope that the sun comes out a little bit to provide some light on what is a very beautiful area back here in Singapore. All right, so a quick disclaimer is Hasselblad did send me this camera in exchange for making this video. Thus, this is not going to be a review considering the inherent bias that comes along with an agreement like that. They did not ask me to make a specific type of video for this. They gave me full creative control over what I wanted to make. And I'm still going to talk transparently about my thoughts and feelings regarding the camera, but it's not going to be a review by any means. Now, when it comes to these 36 shots, taking the first one in the past has always been one of the more challenging things, and I've realized that it's better to just rip the Band-Aid off and start rather than trying to find the perfect image to start the day. And so this image that I've come down to over here isn't all that great compositionally, but there's some really nice color contrast. It is these petals that have fallen off this flower that's on these lily pads, and they're just floating in the water here. And there's some really nice color contrast between the petals and the green of the lily pads in the water. So that's the first image I'm going to take. This is number 1 of 36, maybe 2 or 3, depending on how many I take, probably just 1. And that's going to start the day. Okay, all of 5 seconds after I finished that last segment, I went to the bathroom and then spotted this gorgeous section of flowers that are basically right here blooming on these lily pads, meaning I could actually get close-up shots of them with this 35 to 100 on the X2D II here. So that first shot, probably just throw it in the garbage. Not going to be nearly as good as these. But I just took 4 images of these. No, 3 images. 2, 3, and 4. So we are 4 of 36. I will admit that the light is just perfect for these colors popping out. There's some purple and some pink flowers, and they should contrast really well. However, I'm not using a polarizer. And one thing I'm concerned about is the reflections in the water are probably going to be distracting, and I wish that I could cut out some of those reflections with the polarizer. I could probably grab one, but it doesn't fit on this lens, so I'd have to finagle it in a way, and I'm trying to just not use one if I can. But overall, much better composition and just subject than the last image, and probably more representative of what I want to shoot today. One thing I want to mention though is that the Hasselblad X2D II is not a camera people typically associate with not editing images. These images are huge and they are meant to be edited from what I know. However, I always get comments about the Hasselblad or just see comments on other people's videos talking about the color science of the Hasselblad and how great the colors just look straight out of camera. So one thing I'm doing is I'm shooting in RAW and JPEG, and all of the images you're going to see today are JPEG, so that there is literally no processing going on. I'm not putting these in Lightroom and exporting them and having Lightroom handle colors. I'm not putting them to the Focus One software that Hasselblad has. You're getting them straight out of the camera, color science and all, right to your pupils, to your eyeballs. Man, having a zoom lens feels fantastic. Although I wish I had a little bit more reach for some of this stuff, but it is what it is. So I used to own the X2D. That was the last Hasselblad I used. And my two biggest complaints with that particular camera were autofocus and the lack of joystick. Both of those have been greatly improved on this version of the camera. First of all, there's a joystick. That is a pleasure to use. It's something I use to move around my focus point most often. And yes, there are alternatives on this camera where I could use the screen to move to the focus point. But after having basically a joystick on every other camera I use, or at least a D-pad like on the Nikon ZF, I could physically move the focus point around with a button. And I just got used to that over the course of history of shooting on cameras. So not having that on the last version was kind of a downside. The second more important thing, I think, is the autofocus. The last version's autofocus, to put it nicely, was not very good. I had trouble focusing on simple objects sometimes, and it felt like that focus system was almost in the past decade. This one, vastly superior. It's got subject detection, it's got eye detection, but more importantly for me, it's just more accurate in shooting things like these flowers or particular things, subject matter that I want to separate from the background. The thing is, as a landscape photographer, nature photographer, I didn't care all that much in the last camera because I'm shooting on a tripod or slow scenes. But as I shot more and more varied content, I noticed the autofocus didn't work as great for me. So having an improved autofocus on this version has been a world of difference for shots like this, where I'm shooting these flowers and things that are separated from the background. So far, welcome improvement, and I think definitely sets this one apart from the last camera and really solves the two major issues I had with the X2D system. I just took two images of this flower in the X-Pan crop, one of my favorite crops on this camera that I'll probably make an entire video about just for fun. There was a dragonfly on it. Very beautiful. Wish I could zoom in just a little bit more. So I'm going to show you an image unedited, and I'm going to show you a slight crop of the image that I think probably is more of what I envisioned for the shot. Beautiful nonetheless. I took two, so I think that means I have taken 8 images so far. Maybe you're watching this video with the simple curiosity of knowing what a camera is capable of without editing. Or maybe editing isn't something that you've explored yet, but you'd love to learn. Today's sponsor, Skillshare, is a fantastic platform to do exactly that. Skillshare has numerous classes regarding editing, such as Adobe certified trainer Daniel Scott's 9-hour class on everything you could possibly want to know about Lightroom that even includes project files to follow along with. Or maybe you're interested in something more specific, like color work with Lightroom. Then Dominic's class on enhancing your color edits might be right for you. One way I've recently used Skillshare is that last year I made the leap to utilizing a platform called Notion to help organize the chaos of managing this YouTube channel. Notion is incredibly useful, but there's a bit of a learning curve when you start out. I joined Ali Abdul's masterclass on Notion, which greatly expedited my understanding of the best ways to utilize the platform and manage my own dashboard for this YouTube channel. I'm even writing this very script using Notion. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and a lot more. Skillshare can help you take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or even side hustles to the next level. There's going to be classes and resources for all levels, plus endless opportunities to learn new skills or hobbies that you might be interested in. The first 500 people that use my link in the description or use this QR code that you can see on the screen now are going to receive 1 month free trial of Skillshare, so don't hesitate to wait and get started today. All right, so I didn't start today thinking I was only going to shoot flowers, but with the light earlier this morning and now some light coming through and happen to be in this flower dome garden, it's pretty much all I've shot so far in this video. So if you don't like flowers, well, leave a nice comment down below that you really, really don't like flower shots, but you like this channel, and subscribe down below. All right, so a lot of what I'm paying attention to here is the contrast of colors and how they sit within a scene, because obviously all of this stuff is pretty manicured. This little scene back here, everything here is composed by someone. None of the stuff I'm shooting in here is natural, although it was outside, but not in this flower dome. And I'm just doing my best to use those colors as compositional help. Like sometime earlier, I took a shot where there was a leading line of a certain bed of flowers of certain colors that contrasted really well against everything surrounding it. And I'm also using lighter flowers on darker backgrounds to help create some separation as the sun goes in and out on the clouds. And that's basically what I'm playing with. I think I've taken 16, maybe 17 images so far. So we've got about 20, maybe 19 left, and feeling pretty good. Lots of flowers, but honestly, it's kind of nice. And there's AC in here, so we're just taking our sweet, sweet time. Okay, I didn't want to just photograph flowers for this video. That was not the intention. So I saved about 12 images to come do some street photography. I went back to the hotel, cooled off, changed shirts because that one was not pleasant to be in anymore. And I've just been walking around trying to find some nice shots. Now, it's late into the evening, it's about 5:30. We've still got about an hour and a half of sunlight, but it's still just this overcast light that we've been getting all day. But I found this cool building here with a lot of abstract patterns in it. And I'm gonna try to take at least one photo of it to get some street photography shots in the bag. All right, so I gotta be honest, the last couple shots have been difficult. Nothing is singing to me, nothing is catching my eye, and there's basically just been no light. It actually started raining at some point, but right now, got about 45 minutes till sunset. As you can tell, we are in the, well, this main shot thing that you know of for Singapore, but I haven't taken any shots of that. But more importantly, you can see that little reflection in the light. You see this light on my face. We're getting some light, so maybe I can find something. But I have to admit, the last few shots that I've taken were definitely a bit forced. Ones that I look back on and I'm like, was that worth an exposure or not? But we got about 7 shots left. We're gonna try to make the best of it in the last, I don't know, 40 minutes here. See if I can find anything that really calls my name and hopefully take some good ones. There's also there's a lot of people. And I'm away from the other section with a dog.
can work it out. Maybe when we hit the ground.
All right, so the random shot I took of the girl writing in her notebook or something, I had to take two, didn't want to take two, but I think I missed focus on the first shot. No, I didn't think, I checked it, definitely missed focus. But I think it was my fault because I was trying to film me taking the shot and it didn't work out. But before we wrap up the video and take my last few shots, I wanted to say a few of the things that I don't necessarily like about the camera or things I wish they had added in this camera. Now, first of all, my major complaints, like we talked about earlier in the video, all fixed. These are only minor gripes, specific things for me. For example, I wish this had video capabilities. That's because my needs are, I want to shoot some B-roll before I show you the shot so you can see what it is. And when I'm out filming with just the Pocket 3 in this, I can't get any B-roll shots of it. So I understand that it's a photography camera, but I really do wish it had some capability of video, even if it was just 4K, 24 FPS, that would be completely enough for me. Secondly, I wish they had image verification on this. I think recently one of the new Leica cameras and maybe a few other cameras, don't quote me on it, now have the ability to add certifications to the images that you take. And you might be asking, well, what the heck is that? It's basically authentication thing when you take the image that says, this is a real image. It's not created by AI, and there's a pipeline for that certification to continue to work. And it basically says that this image that I'm taking is authentic, which is nice because in a world of AI, you can't really trust a lot of it anymore. Thankfully, I've got a bit of video evidence here, and most of my images are probably crap from this video, so it isn't faked. Lastly, build. Now, the build quality is fantastic. However, the material of the Hasselblad is twofold. One, it looks great. I mean, it is a very classy looking camera. Anyone that's seen a picture of them, seen them in person, they look fantastic. The downside is the finish on it, while it makes it look good, is also just kind of easily scratchable. It's kind of like a MacBook Pro finish. Not exactly, but similar. So it's very easy to scratch this camera. Now, I haven't scratched it at all. I still got the sticker here. I still got the screen thing that comes on it. I still got the thing at the bottom that protects it. I'm not taking those off as long as I can. But just the finish on it means I got to treat it a bit more delicately than things like my Canon R5, my Nikons, the more not as beautiful looking cameras, but more robust for little things like scratches. But that's kind of the trade-off for making a camera that looks like this. That's really it. Those are my major drawbacks, complaints of the camera. Overall, they fixed a lot of what was the downside of the last version in this version, and I think this is a very capable package at this point, and one I would recommend to someone if they were looking for this type of budget and specifically this image quality. Now, I'm going to use this light that we still have to take a few more images. I hope you enjoy. There won't be much B-roll of them because, like I said, I can't shoot video. So if you're enjoying, yeah, consider liking it. If you are really enjoying and you haven't so far, or you're not already, consider subscribing, but only if you're enjoying this ridiculous content. All right, more photos.